redo his entire house while he was on vacation. Richard Norman Shaw was an architect. I didn't put anything in notes about him. I don't know anything. Maybe there's something important
He
here.
does a fucking like changing rooms game show thing where he's just like, I'm going to come back and see it for the first time when it's done.
Yeah, he does extreme home makeover to himself.
Yeah. When you're rich, you can just do this.
Yeah, so he entrusts the architect, Richard Norman Shaw, entrusts Thomas Jekyll, who's a guy who does a lot of Anglo-Japanese art.
He's cool. I'm not sure about his partner, though. He's some kind of doctor.
To do the interiors, right? And then he goes on vacation.
Was the doctor.
Yeah.
Jack's the doctor, Mr. No, you should.
You have to bleep that also.
I cannot express enough how much I need to make rent.
So Thomas Jekyll, at great expense, furnishes one of Leyland's dining rooms with this 16th century leather wallpaper that had been painted with Tudor roses, which had originally been part of the dowry of Catherine of Aragon.
Leather wallpaper feels like viscerally wrong to me. That's some like Yellow King shit as far as I'm concerned.
Very, very, very expensive. He paid £1,000 for it.
Wow.
Had a lot of money back then.
Yeah, no kidding. Actually, I can do that in the background while you.
He died in a lunatic asylum. That's good.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I bet we will.
This room destroys so many people.
One of the things I like about you, since this is a bonus episode, I can do whatever the hell I want. Is the sort of gleeful madman thing you occasionally have going on. I love it very dearly.
Yeah.
I love you very dearly.
Jekyll
I hate this room so much.
This room is so good, Liam. This is the best room.
£150,000 today.
That's not so bad. That's
that's deposit for a small house outside of London.
You've got to also consider it was a priceless historical artifact. So Jekyll also had a bunch of cabinetry constructed to display Leyland's China collection.
Oh my god!
The sort of blue and white china that was very expensive today, but also you can get reproductions for nothing now.
Yeah.
The focal point of the room was originally a large painting entitled "The Princess from the Land of Porcelain" by none other than James McNeill Whistler. The centerpiece of the room, which is
shit.
That painting is behind the camera in this shot because it is the least important thing that's about to happen.
Okay. Okay.
This is it's in the next slide, but it's another Anglo-Japanese, painting. It's the weeb stuff. Yeah. Jekyll almost finishes the whole composition. Then he falls ill and he has to stop working on the room. So he entrusts his friend, James McNeill Whistler, with finishing the room. James McNeill Whistler takes a look at the priceless 16th century wallpaper and thinks it contrasts poorly with his painting.
Oh, no.
So he suggests to Jekyll, we could touch up these roses with a bit of yellow, a bit of gold leaf. It's gonna look a little bit better. And people didn't have the same ideas about historic preservation back then that we do now.
Yeah, no
so
kidding.
Jekyll's like, yeah, that's a good idea. And Whistler gets to work. And he starts painting. He starts painting. He starts painting. He has no idea of the real plan or idea of the final product. And in the end, the room was now no longer covered in roses. It was now entirely blue and gold and covered in peacocks.
All right. What a way to be led to madness, man.
So Leyland, the owner of the mansion, returns from his vacation and sees the room. He's completely livid. He hates it. It's the worst thing he's seen in his life.
Yeah, I can see why.
and so he, and keep in mind, Whistler's painted over the expensive wallpaper. He's painted over all of the cabinetry. All this blue and gold is his.
This one weird guy has just arted all over your shit. And ruined it.
He arted everywhere. He arted off the walls. He arted on the floor, on the ceiling. So he was livid. He was aghast. He hated it. He cut off the contract with Whistler. And what Whistler did, because the room wasn't finished, is he broke in and finished it.
Can't anyone on the show just be normal?
I really respect this. Actually, this is fantastic. You don't tell me when I'm done with the art. I tell me when I'm done with the art.
So in that process, he finishes this large mural back there of two peacocks fighting, which is Art and Money, or The Story of the Room. That's what it's entitled.
Imagine that the next morning you come down and you find more peacocks have been added.
And just the guide's like half, because it's whatever, 18, who gives a shit?
1870, yeah.
And you just guys strung out on cocaine, enough cocaine to kill Freud. Just like two paintbrushes.
It's like, you don't understand my vision.
All right, so Thomas Jekyll finds out about this. He's also shocked and appalled at what's happened. He looks at the room. He's like, what the hell has happened? He goes back to his own studio, and he's found on the floor covered in gold leaf. Next to a ladder.
Destroys this guy's psyche.
I've seen Goldfinger,
He goes mad. He just goes completely mad afterwards.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Whistler loses the contract and declared bankruptcy. But he had a sense of humor about it, because when the creditors came to his house to seize his assets to pay back Leyland, he has painted and displayed in the main hall of his house a large picture of Leyland depicted as a horrible peacock man.
This is just, I'm pretty sure this is just the first 25 minutes of BioShock, actually.
This kind of like this prolonged campaign of psychological torture.
I love this.
This is and they say art can only ever serve capital. No. It can also drive them insane.
Serve beef. It's just serving hot, fresh beef.
Leyland's wife divorced him for Whistler.
So you
Can
see,
you imagine being in court for that?
Interesting argument. However, I have depicted myself as the Chad and you as the horrible peacock man.
I just spat all over myself, dude.
And this is
bonus makes it up to you.
one of the original, one of the early, manifestations of the modern concept of art for art's sake, right?
And for psychological warfare, beef's sake.
Yeah. The art worked really good.
Yeah,
it caused a lot of visceral reactions, which is what you want art to do.
Yeah. Art as torture device is pretty funny.
Leyland still, he didn't alter the room. Eventually, he passed away, divorced and miserable.
Are we sure this room isn't cursed?
Oh, it's cursed.
So it was purchased. The room was purchased, lock, stock, and barrel from Leyland's heirs in 1904 by Charles Lang Freer. He installed it in his own mansion in Detroit, later donated it and the rest of his collection to the Smithsonian Institute. Today, you can visit the room in the basement of the Freer Gallery. So,
what's the curse situation like?
Well, I've been there, and I am the person who I am.
Not concluding anything from this yet. Need to know what happened to Freer first. Maybe once they removed it from the situation, then it was normal. I want to think it's not a cognito hazard.
I'm pretty sure it's only a cognito hazard if you don't like it.
I quite like it. Yeah, just to say that to insulate myself a bit.
I don't like it, but I find its use as psychological warfare pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do like the sort of, I am going to go broke and divorced because I'm just going to keep painting. Nobody can stop me.
I'm going to lose my wife to the painter who I hate.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant, yes. Just magnificent. Again.
Peacock soy jack.
Yeah.
What a terrible phrase.
This is the painting that was supposed to be the focal point of the room. The painting was
me Me shambling towards the microphone to record this podcast.
Yes. The James McNeill Whistler painted the painting and then redid the entire room around it. This is sort of, it's that and the China collection, of course. But yeah, so this is the state of art in the 1870s, which is it will drive you mad.